One of the most famous Sonic the Hedgehog plush sets of all time is the one made for Sonic the Fighters. Released in Japan in 1997 exclusively as prizes from UFO catchers, this will forever be one of the most legendary and cherished sets of Sonic the Hedgehog plushes. Given the game's extensive roster, this set is noteworthy as it contains many characters seldom seen in merchandise form, including the likes of Team Hooligan, Espio, and Super Sonic, making it undeniably the definitive classic Sonic plush set. With the set including so many plushes of obscure characters, it's the most demanded classic-styled Sonic plush set out there, with each character, even Sonic, demanding a high price on the secondhand market. On top of the set including rarely seen characters, the plushes are also genuinely very high quality. These are premium plushes, and are near-perfect replicas of the characters they're based off of. These guys are absolutely worth the hype surrounding them. They're full of style, charm, and classic plush appeal. At the time of me making this video, I own Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Fang from the set. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find the others yet, but hopefully someday I'll have the full set, and whenever that happens, if not sooner, I'll make a video on the official set. But for now, let's have some fun. While the Fighters set will forever be remembered for its quality and variety, there's one offshoot of the set that's worth discussing for its absurdity and how much of a mystery it is. In this video, I'll be taking an in-depth look at the bootleg Sonic the Fighters plush set, as I try to make sense of it all. Here's some facts. This set of 10 plushes are clearly based off of the Japanese Fighters plush set and originate from Thailand. The set contains rip-offs of every plush in the set, minus Super Sonic. While many people will recognize these, and plenty of people even own them, no one truly knows the backstory behind them. Who made these? When were they made? Why do they look so strange? I'll attempt to answer all of these and more in today's video. Let's begin. Now, bootlegs of older plush sets are not uncommon. For example, Takara's UFO Catcher Kirby's Adventure plush set from 1993 has a nearly complete bootleg set of it, with every character minus Dedede having a fake equivalent. These started showing up around the mid to late 2000s on sites like eBay and AliExpress. They're actually quite good for replicas. Sure, Freeze Kirby's frown was turned into a terrifying smile, but for what they are, they could have been a lot worse. The thing with these is they're replicas of the official plushes. They use similar materials, and their patterns are clearly the result of reverse engineering the official products. These are the types of bootlegs I could never support. Direct copies of official products only serve to hurt the market of genuine quality goods. I hate bootlegs that are nothing more than cheap copies of official products, as they drive away sales for the genuine articles. Tons of people purchase knockoff goods as replacements for the official products, or even do so unknowingly, which hurts the official product's bottom line on top of supporting shady sellers and bootleggers. However, if an unofficial product has no official equivalent, I'm a little more okay with it. For example, for years now, bootleggers have taken this Cine Bowser plush and customize it into various variants, such as Dry Bowser, Dark Bowser, and my personal favorite, King Koopa. There will likely never be an official plush of King Koopa, but there is a market for it, so I'm fine with this bootleg existing as it fills a gap in the market. If official companies aren't going to recognize the potential of certain designs or characters, it's fine with me for bootleggers to do it instead, which is why I've purchased quite a few of these Mexican-made Sonic bootlegs. These Mexican bootleggers have taken a basic Sonic pattern and have made plushes of various characters and forms that would rarely get the official treatment. Now we have plushes of Dark Sonic, Hyper Sonic, Dark Spine Sonic, Scourge, even Silver Sonic Mark II, and that's awesome. These bootleg Fighters plushes, unlike the Kirby's Adventure fakes, share little in common with their official counterparts. They're completely different plushes, which in my eyes makes them pretty interesting. There is one fake of a plush in the Fighter set that falls under the replica bootleg mantle though, that being this bootleg of the Fang plush. Somehow, bootleggers got a hold of a sample of the official Fang plush, and completely copied it. The earliest documented sighting of this plush is from Sonic Gear's How to Avoid Fake Sonic merchandise page, being added around 2008. I'm not sure if this bootleg was around earlier than that, but archived eBay listings back up him first showing up around the late 2000s, around 2007 to 2009. To be honest, this is a really good copy of the plush. Sure, he's a lot cheaper looking, and his eyes and nose aren't made of plastic, but the actual pattern is basically all there. Since he's such a good replica, many fans of the character who can't find the official plush settle for this guy, and I understand that. He's certainly a lot better than this Thailand bootleg, who's rocking a red hat and a dopey face. Back in the mid-2000s, these plushes, claiming to be from the official Sonic the Fighters set, started showing up for sale online, all coming from Thailand. What a set to fake, huh? Because this means we have bootleg plushes of not just Fang, but also Bean, Bark, Metal Sonic, Espio, all being characters rarely seen. For the longest time, it was debated whether or not these were authentic. Despite their inaccuracies, maybe this was an obscure lesser release of the Fighters set? I mean, and not many people know this, but there already is a second official Fighters set. They also made these keychains of 6 of the characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and even Fang and Espio got the mini keychain treatment. They're great, if not a little flimsy. Though yes, that does mean that actually 2 official Fang plushes exist. Anyway, that second mini set does support the potential of a 3rd official fighter set existing as well. These all come from Thailand. Maybe Sega made a different set for that market? Yeah, no. The tush tags on the plushes appear to be legit, but that's all they've got going for them. There's no way these are official, so let's take a closer look at them to really get to the bottom of this. In my collection, I own 6 of the 10 plushes in this set. I have Team Sonic and Team Hooligan, and you know what? Some of these aren't that bad. Sonic, Knuckles, and Bean especially look pretty decent. Keep in mind that my Sonic is a little faded. Most of them are a much richer blue than this. My Bark is also missing his oddly colored, bandana? Whatever this is, it's clearly not his green scarf. So my apologies for showing a naked Bark, but it's all I have. Anyway, the plushes all have plastic eyes. Basically all their details are there, if not simplified. I personally like them a lot. I think their obvious off-modelness is quite charming. They all have goofy expressions, are comically small, and have next to no quality control. But are they official? Oh, come on. Absolutely not. Believe it or not, there actually is some debate over the authenticity of these. If you look at the tush tag on them, it almost checks out. However, there's no mention of the fighter's name, only Sega Sonic. But the real nail in the coffin here is the copyright year printed, 1995. This is odd, as Sonic the Fighters itself came out in 1996, and the plushes weren't released until 1997. It's also humorous as I doubt characters like Bean and Bark were even finalized by 1995. So, why does the tush tag say this? Well, it's because this tush tag is actually a copy of the one from the Sega Sonic Suction Cup plush set. This set contains 4 plushes, all having suction cups on them, allowing you to hang them wherever you please. These were released in 1995, and the tush tag on the fake fighter set is a near direct copy of theirs. The font and sizing is all slightly off, but it's clear this was the source of their tush tag. In fact, nothing regarding these bootlegs were taken from the official plushes, apart from their vague likeness, I guess. Because of that, I believe these guys aren't technically bootlegs of the official plushes. Instead, they're better classified as original unlicensed plushes that are merely based off of the fighter set. I highly doubt the designers of these had actual samples of the fighters plushes to work with, because if they did, their tush tags would be based off of that sets, and I doubt the plushes would look nearly this wrong. I believe that instead, these fakes are based off of the set image for the Fighters plush set, and there's a lot of evidence supporting this. That image showcases prototypes of the Fighters plushes, with each character showcasing differences compared to the final released plush. This is most noticeable with characters like Espio, Fang, and Metal Sonic. The bootlegs being based off of this image and not the actual plushes would explain many of the strange design choices they have, such as Knuckles having weirdly attached dreads, Robotonic's pointing pose, Bark having this weird black and white ascot instead of his green scarf, Metal Sonic not being made of vinyl, and crucially, there being no fake Supersonic. Supersonic was a chase plush in the official fighter set, being treated as a secret, made-to-be-rare variant of the normal Sonic. It's unlikely more than one of him was included with each case of the plushes. As such, he isn't shown in the set sheet, which explains why the bootleggers didn't make him, as they probably weren't even aware he was part of the set. The bootlegs are shockingly accurate to the set image though. It's really fascinating to compare the official prototypes with the bootlegs, as it's obvious this is what they were based off of. Unfortunately, we don't have access to a high-quality copy of the set image, but I'm sure that if we did, you'd be able to spot even more similarities. There are some aspects of the plushes though that are just wrong. Like, again, Fang's hat is red and not brown for no reason. He's also lacking his entire gun setup. Since I have both the official and bootleg Fang plushes, here's a comparison between the two. I don't have the more accurate bootleg Fang, but just comparing these two, wow. If you want me to sum up how cheap the Thailand Fang is, he doesn't even have a tail. Though again, that does make sense, as despite being an integral part of his design, you can't see a tail on the set image. He does have his Fang though. Next to that are his cheek tufts, which are stitched above his muzzle. Huh. These guys are so off-model and goofy looking, you just have to love them. Don't get me wrong, these aren't good. I mean, I guess they're made of decent quality materials, but they aren't well made or designed. But it's uncommon for such a lack of understanding of the character designs to be put onto a plush, bootleg or not. Most bootlegs copy a character's design extremely well. I mean, the whole point of most bootlegs is to trick people who don't know any better into buying them instead of the official products, right? So to see unlicensed plushes be so incredibly off-base with their design is quite amusing. These all remind me of Play-by-Play's 2001 plush of Sonic. The only difference is that this guy was actually officially licensed. Yeah, wrap your head around that one. So, these 10 are all there are in the set, right? Well, for years, that was believed to be the case. But in the world of bootlegs, anything goes. Many fake sets have offshoots or variants made of them. If you can make a fake Sonic plush, why not also make a fake red Sonic plush, for example? While widespread variants of any plush in this set aren't a thing, as far as we know at least, there does seem to be at least a few floating around out there. Back in April of 2019, a Thailand-based seller on Instagram made a sales post with this photo, showing a lot that included very odd-looking versions of the fighter Fighters bootlegs. Knuckles, Amy, and Metal Sonic look fairly standard, if not a little faded, but Tails and Bean are noticeably off-colored, and the two Sonics? Well, okay, this Sonic looks pretty standard, only being slightly off-colored and having tilted eyes. He's nothing compared to this Sonic who looks completely different and bizarre. Not only is he purple with pink skin, he has shoes that look like Tails only flipped, no socks, and a centered, goofy-looking smile. This is the only time I've seen a Sonic that looks like this. Where did he come from? I wish I knew. The origins of the standard bootlegs are already enough of a mystery, but this listing is the only time one like this has gone up for sale. I'm pretty sure everyone here besides Purple Sonic are the normal ones, only sun damaged, meaning there isn't actually a teal bean variant. But Purple Sonic is for sure different, and it makes you question the rest. Are there more Purple Sonics out there? You can't make out if he has a tush tag or not either, and if he doesn't, maybe this is a prototype of the bootleg, or at least a bootleg of the bootleg. He does have a keychain attached to his head, and not the black string the rest have. So really, who knows? Unfortunately, by the time I had found this listing, it had sold, so I hope whoever got them is treating Purple Sonic with the respect he deserves. He truly is a special boy. I mean, that's a face only a Thailand bootlegger could love. That's not all for variants of this set though, but this one is legitimately very cool. On July 7th, 2019, a listing for 5 of the 10 plushes went up for sale on Facebook Marketplace, unsurprisingly once again from a seller in Thailand. Up for grabs were Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Silver Sonic. Or, well, a silver-colored Metal Sonic, which I think looks close enough to the Silver Sonic from Sonic 2, making this, in my opinion, probably the coolest plush we've seen from this set. At first, after noticing that despite being a silver color, he still had blue stitching, I assumed that this was nothing more than just a standard faded Metal Sonic. And while that still could be true, fading from such a dark blue to gray would be pretty strange. But get this, the seller actually had 2 of them. And hey, if it really is sun damage that made him look like this, then it's the coolest damaged plush I've ever seen. So now that we know that there might actually be more plushes besides the main 10, it just makes you wonder even more, where did these come from? Specifically, I mean. We know they came from Thailand, and they weren't made in limited quantities either. Even today, I see these for sale often from sellers in Thailand, but I've never been able to get to the bottom of where they come from or when they were made. Them being based off of the set image and having a tush tag from 1995 could imply they were from before the official set even released, which would place them around early 1997, but these didn't start showing up online until the mid to late 2000s. So it's almost impossible to place a real date on these guys. All we know is that they were made sometime between 1997 and the mid-2000s, and that they come from Thailand. We still don't know stuff like when they were put into production, or how long they were produced for. A few years ago, huge lots of these plushes started showing up again on eBay. They hadn't been listed in bulk like this for years. Did they go back into production, or were these listings just of stock that had never been sold? It's all such a mystery. These bootlegs aren't the only connection the Fighters plushes have to Thailand either. In recent years, many sellers in Thailand have been getting consistent stock of the official plushes too. While these were originally released in Japan, it seems many of them made their way to Thailand and other Asian countries as well. Need I mention that $16 Philippine Supersonic? There's actually a pretty large underground plush market in Thailand. There are huge Facebook groups, for example, where people ask for specific characters or series plushes, and sellers comment with what they have for sale. On many of these posts, you'll find people selling the Fighters plushes among others for very cheap. Here's one person who sold a tagged Espio for 170 baht, which in USD is $5.53. This Espio is probably the same one too, given the seller is also from Thailand. This same seller also had several of the Fighters plushes up at the same time, including 2 different Supersonics, one tagged and one tagless. I can only dream of how cheap those were originally, given Espio was $5. Imagine getting a $5 Supersonic. This seller may have lived that dream. And this seller is just one of many who sell the Fighters plushes often from Thailand. And don't even get me started on how many I've sold on Facebook from Thailand, which is likely where most of this stock comes from. So there's clearly some connection between the Fighters plushes and Thailand, which could explain why bootlegs were made there in the first place. Maybe back in the day, the Fighters plushes were commonly circulating around Thailand, so bootleggers then saw them as a popular set to fake. There really is no way to figure out the truth behind these bootlegs though, without somehow getting in contact with the people who made them, who obviously are even more mysterious than the plushes themselves. I don't think many bootleggers would want to be known publicly, for obvious reasons. And there you have it, everything we know about the Thailand bootleg Sonic the Fighters plush set. What an interesting but bizarrely confusing set this is. There's still so much we don't know. Why do some people claim these are official when they're clearly fake? Who made these? When did they come out? What is the connection with the Fighters plushes in Thailand? Where did Teal Bean come from? We may never know. All these questions may never have answers, but these plushes will always be out there to speculate about. To be honest, I think it's pretty cool these have such a mysterious feeling to them. It's really fitting for a Sonic the Fighter's plush set. The official set is this well-known legendary set of Sonic plushes. Even owning just one is a big accomplishment in the collecting community, so there also being this weird bootleg set that no one even knows the true nature of is really fitting. It's also great that this was the set that was faked, because it means there are bootleg plushes of the likes of Beanbark and Fang. Given how limited their official plushes are, I'm sure many fans of the characters appreciate there being a cheaper alternative to them. If only there was a bootleg Super Sonic. They don't compare to the official ones at all, but hey, now there are technically 2 classic Espio plushes, so that's something. While I doubt we'll ever know the full story behind these guys, they're really interesting to speculate and think about. There are so many obscure Sonic plush sets from around the world, but these guys may just take the cake as the strangest and most fascinating.